Hello, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle. We are reconvening with the last of our zodiac signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Aries, taking a look at what people are hearing about you. What are they hearing about you? And we started with our season sign, which is Taurus. And so we're going into um, the next season. That's why Aries is last. Aries is usually first. Pisces is usually last, but because we are alternating the order according to the seasonal sign, we are heading in to the last few. And so you're up, Cancer. Welcome. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you feel led to do so. We're going to take a look at what people are hearing about you. What is the word out about Cancer? I hope you guys are well. Again, if you have not, please consider commenting. Not commenting, please consider subscribing. If you have not, if you do subscribe, make sure you hit the bell so you'll be notified, okay? Welcome, Cancer. Let's take a look and see what's coming in for you, okay? So first and foremost, I pulled from a new deck that I have. It's the Vice Versa Tarot. Taking a look, we have the World coming in for you, the front side of the Death card, and then the front side of the Ten of Swords. And so it seems as though people are talking about the fact that you are having endings, which lead to new beginnings. That, along with this Death card, like there's some major changes happening in your life right now. People are hearing that's going on for you, major shifts, whether these are welcomed, whether they are things that you're being dragged into, with the World followed by the Death. These are major turnings of events for you, Cancer, in your life that people are hearing about. And then with the Ten of Swords, I do really feel like you are no longer positioned as a victim to circumstance or unfortunate events. I feel like you have repositioned yourself to watch these things take place. This may even have a lot to do with the energy of karma, what was thrown at you. People are talking about how you are watching the result, like of the energies that are playing. The Ten of Swords is not good energy necessarily. You may have an opportunity where people are seeing you sit back and watch things take place. It's almost like that energy of drinking poison and waiting for someone else to die, right? Someone may have intended something not so good for you, and it just so happened that you are able to watch that energy be absorbed back from the source that it was sent from, or someone digging, a grave for you and they fell in it and you're able to watch this. That's the energy I'm getting here. And so people are talking about this huge transition for you overall, and the fact that you are no longer struggling, possibly in the way that people thought you would, those that are talking about you or watching you, or maybe in a way that you may have at some point in time. Let's see what else. We have Gaia's Garden coming out. I feel like people are talking about your connection with nature. Gaia is all about the earth. Looking at the earth in the characteristics of a mother, like Mother Earth. When we say Gaia, we're talking about this very nurturing quality that we are giving to the earth, attributing to it as this energy or this vessel that's able to receive and give, that's able to be connected to and relate to. There's the energy of people talking about you possibly even reaping from this connection that you have with earth. Very abundant energy. People are talking about this connection and how you are able to pull what you need from the earth. There's some interaction with earth here with Gaia's garden. And it gives me the energy, being that garden is added to it. It's almost like a reaping and a sowing, this element that happens, right? And so people are talking about your interaction and you're reaping what you've sown into nature. I also have the Seven of Swords coming in reverse. So this one is very interesting because the Seven of Swords is usually in this deck. It talks about futility and watching things go down very unfairly. In this particular deck, I got this deck is my urban tarot deck. And so it brings a lot of things, a lot of principles to the common application of life. And the Seven of Swords is watching things like the law and watching how it benefits some. Some people can use it to escape consequence if they have a certain position, or if they have, a certain amount of money, certain resources, but that same law can be of a detriment for others. The fact that it's turned around in reverse, it's almost like people could be hearing how you are involved in situations where you make sure that justice does happen. People could be talking about your willingness to take on situations and confront situations to ensure justice as well. This Seven of Swords being turned in reverse is almost like the reversal of that unjust energy in some type of way as it relates to you. People are talking about you being connected with situations that would normally turn out negatively, but you entering in and bringing forth some justice or some right action. Yeah. And I don't know, this could be something legal that you have been involved in regards to someone else. This could be something where you stepped up and made sure things were done right, or that justice was served. There's something about making sure that fairness happens here. People are talking about maybe even you looking at things differently right now, seeing it from a whole different perspective and addressing those things. Not necessarily taking an action, but opening up discussion and addressing what is not right. I also have the Charity card coming out. Of course, we have that water element that is so much a part of your sign, Chariot, Cancer. The Charity talks about this element of unconditional love, and people are talking about your receptivity and your ability to offer, this symbol of passion. It's a very heavy energy of love. Some might even see it as different kinds of love when we talk about passion, because a lot of times this is a card that may be associated with like Aphrodite or Venus. And so this could be construed as many different types of love, but yet it comes through as unconditional, not having conditions. Being very connected with your heart center and that which you are connected with and which is connected to you, being guarding over it. And this is not just about you. This is even on a collective level as well. This nurturing happening, this generosity that's being shared. People are talking about you bringing love to, people and places beyond yourself. This could also come in with establishing connections and relationships as well. People are talking about your growth in that way. What are people hearing about Cancer? All right. So for my mushroom oracle, I have the death cap. Can you see that? There we go. The death cap. Again, we got the Ten of Swords that came out here. Initially, we also got the death. and the world. All three of those can talk about an ending. There's this overwhelming theme coming out for you, Cancer. People are hearing that things are changing majorly for you and causing endings. And it sounds worse than it actually is, because there's the reality of understanding that where there are endings, there are also what? New beginnings. There's some major changes that you are making in life. And I don't know why I'm hearing a new sheriff in town. It's almost like the energy of stepping into a new environment or a new place, instituting new laws and instituting new ways to ensure some level of equality or justice. There's a new sheriff in town. Usually that is a sign that there has been something that has not necessarily been on the up and up. And the new sheriff is going to reinstitute some things to set some things straight. And so I feel like with the death cap, it's talking about endings. Now, particularly, the death cap is actually a mushroom. Now, the thing about this mushroom is that this is a dangerous mushroom. You can't eat this mushroom because it will end your life. And we're not talking about something very subtle. We're talking about the ability to end a life for a full-grown adult if you eat this. It will definitely cause an ending. And so there's something that's very what people are hearing about you possibly is that you don't play. I do get the overwhelming sense that there is this very compassionate energy that people are hearing, but on the other end of that spectrum, there is a part of you that is very stern and might even be a little cutthroat when it comes to certain things, possibly. Or if someone was to step over a certain boundary, people are hearing that you don't play, like you will cut things off at the knees. And so there's something about the death cap, this mushroom, that people have heard. There are definitely things that you do not want to do to Cancer. There's definitely thresholds that you do not want to cross with Cancer, or else you will find out, right? What is that? FAFO, F around and find out, right? That's what I'm hearing. People are hearing about you. You don't want to. Okay. So keep it on the up and up. I also have the Three of Wands coming out for you, Cancer, which says that you are expanding. Threes are all about creation. There is an energy of you being someone who has learned and giving attention and detail to certain things to complete them. The Three of Wands says that you have done that. That whatever you have given your detail to, you've completed it with flying colors, and now you've reached a space where you are expanding on that. Right? You have down what you've already completed, like the back of your hand. Now you're looking up and out to expand. So you could be, I did get the energy of a community spreading your intentions further than you. It could be wanting to expand your ideas and to share what it is that you have, your successes, right? People could be talking about something that you are doing to increase this energy of success, the success that you're experiencing. You're doing something to expand and increase that and multiply that for yourself and for others. People are hearing about your expansions in some type of way. I don't know if these are things that are on the hush, but people are hearing about them in some type of way, especially with the Ace of Swords coming out. This is some level of information coming in, possibly going out, being illuminated, a level of empowerment as well coming in with the Ace of Swords. I feel like there is more information that people are hearing that you have, or that you're demonstrating, or that you're even working with. There's some level of clarity coming in around that's being demonstrated and seen and heard. There could be a talk about what it is that you're doing. the Ace of Swords. This could be coming in also as offers, some type of offer of new information or revelations that you are getting right now. I get that energy very big for you. And this actually could be behind these changes that are being made, these endings that are coming in, along with this new information. Sometimes we can hold on to certain ways of doing things, certain values, certain beliefs until we get more information. And when we get more information, it changes everything. So it feels like that kind of energy. There's new beginnings coming in around some information that you've gotten here. People are hearing that this has changed something when it comes to you. Maybe you've expressed a certain opinion or thought around something, but something has happened recently where that has changed. You see it in a different way now that you have more information. And guess what pops up, Cancer? Another 10 of Swords, another one, another ending. Endings are big. And I feel like with the 10 of Swords coming out, this is something that may have at one point in time affected you very deeply, because the 10 of Swords is like, it's a huge energy. Sometimes it could come across as betrayal of someone that's closest to you. Sometimes it could come across as reaching, this very bottom of existence, where you just feel like, okay, things could not get any worse. But for you, I feel like this is, people have heard that what used to affect you or trigger you or knock you off, send you back a couple of notches, it no longer does. That is over. That has ended, right? And I feel like people are hearing that you have this newfound strength, this newfound truth. Swords are all about truth as well, and the ability to think critically. So there's some new beginning with how you're dealing with things. And I think those things have a lot to do with possible conflict for you, but it's not coming across the same. Mm-mm. People are hearing, that, yeah, you can try it. I wouldn't, but be ready if you do. Abundance is coming in for you. My camera keeps going to light. For some reason, I think it's the focus. Abundance is coming in for you. People are hearing how you have come into a lot of something. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean money. It could, but this could be, you've come into an abundance of something. This could be ideas. This could be creativity. This could be support. This could be opportunities. But there's an abundance of something that you have. And people are hearing that you are not experiencing lack right now. This is a very fruitful time for you. People are hearing that about you. And then I also have Kuan Yin coming out for you, Cancer. Kuan Yin. I don't know why I'm thinking of Shasta, right? I went down to Shasta and I got a chance to go into one of their sacred gardens where they have these monuments set up for different ascended masters and deities. Kuan Yin was one of them. Kuan Yin is a representation of kindness and nurturing. People are hearing that there's something that's very, I don't know why I'm hearing ascended master. There's something that's very masterful about how you relate to people or what you have to offer. She has a couple of things in her hand. One is light, and the other one is like this container with a flower in it, which represents this very natural substance. But I feel like this is really people hearing about your level of commitment to what you do. Mhm. Your level of commitment to what you do and what you believe. Kuan Yin is all about refilling our cup, right? And being compassionate, not only for ourselves, but also for others, or not only for others, but also for ourselves. There's something about people hearing about possibly you being able to tap into things that refresh the soul, or you inspire other people to do that, to listen to the inner voices, to stop and take note. This is, in fact, feminine energy, but you don't have to be feminine, Cancer. You could be a masculine, you could be a feminine. We're just talking about the quality that the quality of what you're offering. It's very feminine energy. This may even be the need to address that which your feminine energy needs, right? And prioritizing, placing yourself in a position to receive what is needed. So there's something here about love and friendship, self-care, rituals, nurturing. Make sure that you are feeding not only your body, but also feeding your soul. Finding time to connect and relax and enjoy life. And so there's something here about people hearing that you are someone not only that does that, but would on any given day recommend that. Okay. And so you are someone who gives off the energy of caring deeply about people, not only in word, but also in deed. Okay. That's what I'm hearing, that people are hearing about you, but there's something that's major that's changing and shifting for you right now that people are talking about. Whatever that is, there's things that are ending in your life that's causing these shifts. It doesn't feel like a bad thing. It feels like something that's offering an opportunity to welcome in change, a refreshing. Okay, that's what it feels like to me. Also, an opportunity for you to rise up above even what you're usually dealing with, things that may have caused some level of discomfort or conflict in the past. You're rising up to a level where you're no longer bothered, right? That's what the change feels like to me. But people are definitely talking, watching, listening. They have a lot to say about what's happening with you, what's changing. Okay. So that's what I'm hearing for you, Cancer. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's always nice to know that, people are thinking good thoughts, about you. And so if that resonates, like, share, comment, subscribe if that is you. Okay. If you have not, please consider subscribing. And if you do find yourself subscribing, hit the bell so you'll be notified next time I go live or post new content. Okay, Cancer? Thanks for stopping by. I will see you next time. Keep love alive, okay? Thank you. Bye. Pisces, welcome. Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle, Pisces. We are taking a look at what people are saying when it comes to you, Pisces. What is the talk around Pisces? Let's take a look. Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you have not. If you find yourself subscribing, feel free to hit the bell so you'll be notified whenever I post new content, okay? Let's jump in. I have a plethora of different decks I'm pulling from for this energy, but I started with my vice versa deck with the King of Cups, and it's on the backside, the Fool on the backside, and the Sun on the backside. So first of all, with the King of Cups, people are talking about you Someone's talking about you having, there's this disposition of feeling like you're serious all the time, but someone's talking about you, or someone has heard that you have quite a playful side. Though you come off as very serious, your demeanor is very serious and businesslike. Someone has heard that you're quite playful, Pisces. Like you have a very silly side, or a side that actually is able to get down into your childlike personality, if I could call it that. And so someone has heard that there's this whole different side of you that when people first meet you, they may not see that side, but as they get to know you, or as you allow them in to that more intimate side, they get to see that, hey, Pisces is not all business. There's actually a very interesting comical side to Pisces. I also have the Fool, and this is on the opposite side as well. Looking at it from the back side, there's someone has heard that there's something that has changed about you, and this could be about the way that you look at things, the way that you look at the world. There is something about your perspective. Someone is talking about, or someone has heard that there could have been things that you held very serious and in a certain light that has changed, and it's open to interpretation now. So there's some perspective that you no longer hold as being the end all be all. Now there's some being open to new information, or a new way of seeing things that's coming in for you. Someone has heard that there's something that's changed about how you look at things, or your determination on something. I also have the Sun coming in on the backside as well. So the Sun being one of the most happiest cards in the deck, but it's on the backside. I feel like there's someone that has heard in times where things did not look the best, or maybe things weren't on the up and up. You have held your composure. You've held your composure in spite of things not looking as great as they could, in belief that better days are coming, right? There's some way that you handle difficulties that come through as actually pretty inspiring. There's someone that is talking about you in a very high light, that's inspired by the way that you handle when things are not necessarily going your way, the way that you've planned, the way that you would like. You hold very closely to, and I feel like it's almost like this faith-like energy, your belief that things will be better, or you're just going to hold out until they do. Like someone's talking about that. Someone has heard that there's something very inspiring about how you make it through difficult times. I found that interesting that came up. I don't know if you just went through some difficult times, and maybe someone had the ability to see how you reacted to it, but someone's talking about that, Pisces. The Metal King coming out here, I feel like there's someone talking about your the fact that you might not allow any and everything. I don't know if people try you often, or people think that you are someone without any limits or any boundaries, but they find out pretty quickly that, I don't know if you give off that energy, but there's someone who finds out and who's talking about, or they've heard that you are pretty solid in your limits and your boundaries. Like you have a pretty good boundary that you have for yourself, and they're not loose boundaries. They're very firm, right? And so someone's talking about your level of discipline. And I feel like it's not necessarily self-discipline, Pisces. I feel like this is around boundaries that you set up as you interact with people. You may have tightened up those boundaries lately, right? But someone's talking about that, the fact that you have some, limits put up for yourself, around yourself. I don't know if it's changed lately, or someone was surprised to find that not anything just goes right. There's something about someone talking about how you have a set of standards, and it could be around yourself, it could be around work, it could be around something that you do. There's just some talk about that, your standards. Okay. I also have the Four of Pentacles coming out for you, Pisces. And the Four of Pentacles is all about, I feel it's about generally resources. You being very, um, what is the word I want to use? Very careful and very aware. There's this very um, reserving energy when it comes to resources. Someone's talking about how you divvy out resources, or something about how you view what it is that you have to work with. Someone may see you being able to really utilize your resources very well as well. Someone that's not careless or just, spends money frivolously. I feel like someone is talking about how you manage what you have very well. Now, why they in your pocket, Pisces, I don't know. For some of you, this could be right now being in a position where you're saving up for something and you are monitoring very closely what you're giving out and what's coming in. And it may be purposeful for something that you're doing right now, but someone is talking about that. And I don't know why they're all in your pockets, but this is being discussed. Yeah. Something about materials, material power, being able to utilize it in a wise way and to change your circumstances if need be. Someone may be talking about how you don't need a whole lot, like you are someone who's able to take a little and use it for much, right? There's someone that's just talking about you being a very good manager, right? When it comes to resources, it could be money, it could be some other material resource as well. But someone is talking about that. And I feel like this could be someone that you have went out with. Maybe you went out on an outing with someone, and they were able to see you in action on how you manage through this experience that they had with you. Almost feel like you could have been out a night on the town. The other person was like splurging and careless, and you're like more like, oh, okay. And how much is that? Oh, well, that's just a little bit, above my budget. This is what I was planning to spend. And so I'm probably going to look at a different right. And so there's something about you demonstrating this. And I feel like through that demonstration, someone was kind of impressed by it, right? And they may be sharing that. They may have taken that on into consideration for their own, needs, their own lifestyle changes too. I also have hope for you coming out, Pisces. And hope, I feel like there's some, as I was saying, like with that sun, it almost is like the energy of meeting difficulties, but not letting those difficulties change how you see things. For some of you, it could be concerning love. Maybe you've experienced some difficulties with love, where you've just had some very, rough situations dealt in regards to love, but you didn't allow that to change your belief that there is true love out there. You didn't allow that to change your expectation or your standards. You didn't lower them. And so there's something about staying hopeful in spite of the situation. It could have something, I'm getting the feeling of love, but if it's anything else, it could be you just holding tight to what it is that you're believing and what you know to be is true, in spite of what's what life has demonstrated lately. I feel like there's someone that's very impressed by your ability to hold on and to keep believing in what it is that you are hoping for and what you're doing, right? And so someone's talking about that. Someone's talking about your ability to really hold on to your belief in spite of how things could be unfolding on any given day. There's something very theological with this. Your beliefs may have something to do with your spiritual values, your connection with your higher power. It could be something theological, like it could be based in some type of context that you have, that you connect with spiritually. I feel like it could be something theological here connected that's anchoring you in difficult times, right? But there's something more. And so this could even be, someone talking about what it is that you believe and why you do things that you do, right? I feel like there's some demonstration for you, Pisces. That's the overall theme here. You're demonstrating like some influence that is good for those that are seeing this, for people that are taking away when they get a chance to experience being with you or working or having, interactions with you. They're taking away something and they're going and they're talking about it, but it's in a highlight though. You may not even realize that you're having an effect on people this way. And in fact, you are. All right. And so for the mushroom, I have isolation. It's the parrot cap. The parrot cap. And this one is pretty interesting because this one talks about isolation. This particular mushroom is one that we don't see very often. It is edible. And it's green, which gives off, for me, that gives off like heart energy. It may be very inviting, but the parrot cap, even though it's isolating, it's a mushroom that can be found growing in autumn, just on a regular side of the road, right? And it really does prefer to be left alone. Like it doesn't really need a lot to grow or to be maintained. It likes neutral soil and it grows just really naturally. You'll find these kind of mushrooms where there's a lot of moss. You can even find these on a natural grass area or in cemeteries. And it wants to be left alone, this particular mushroom. And so I don't know if there's someone that is talking about you having this high level of independence is what I feel I'm taking away from this. This high level of independence and not really needing, right? It's one thing to have the support, but you don't need it, right? Someone's talking about your ability to thrive, even when you don't have what everyone else may need to thrive. There's something that's very resilient about you being able to grow without a lot of support. And it can be a good thing because it allows you to really dig into your own authenticity, into your own ways of seeing and being without being infiltrated by others' ways of being or seeing things. There's something that's good that comes out of you being, in this energy of isolation. And there's something about not having a lot of noise or a lot of people that inspires and helps you to grow well. That's what I'm feeling. And someone's talking about this resilience that they see. They may even just be talking about the fact that you don't really need a lot of outward interference. And I don't know if they're disturbed by it because you don't need, a lot. But someone's talking about this energy, this element of independence that works for you, Pisces. Yeah. And so that's interesting. I feel like I could be talking about a Pisces that is really in a season where they are not surrounded by a lot of people, or that's not their desire, right? You may be in a season of life where you really are spending a lot of time alone, or you prefer to just do a lot of things alone right now. People are talking about that. One second, I need to get my battery. Dang it. Okay, I'm back. I don't know why I don't just get my battery in the beginning because I know I'm going to need my battery. Why don't I just get it when I start? Something about just wanting a challenge, right? Yeah, but someone's talking about you wanting to do things more on an independent level now, like you're not really requiring a lot of assistance or even a lot of input with life. And you may really, really be enjoying that. I get that. I do. I get that right now. So I feel you. But someone has noticed that and they're talking about that. And I don't think that affects you either way, Pisces. But they notice and they're talking. We have the Eight of Swords as well. I do feel like right now people are talking about this could be around releasing some things or challenging yourself past limits that you may have been restricted by in the past. People are talking about um, you're doing something that's challenging that people have known you not to do in the past, but there's something about you challenging your mindset or you stepping outside of a previous way of thinking. It's going back to that fool on the backside. There's a change that you've had with some perspective that you had that have kept you possibly within certain lines, right? But it's changing. Your major perspective or perception of something is actually changing. People are talking about this change. And this could be something that you're doing differently that people are seeing. They're talking about the change, or it could be something that you will be doing differently. And will be talking about this change. But this is all about you breaking outside of your own limits. And that's why you're open, possibly to do something that you haven't been open to do before. Um, yeah. Whatever this was that has kept you doing things a certain way, I don't think it's anything that is necessarily right or wrong. I think it was just preference. It was just preference. and breaking outside of that because of some new piece of information. Swords are, it's air element, which means there's some thinking here. There's something that you've decided to open up and possibly see a different way. And because of that, you may find yourself doing things differently or having a different perspective when you do things. Okay. All right. We have the Magician coming out for you, Pisces. So there's some element, people are talking about how you're creating something. For some of you, this could be something you've envisioned and you're actually moving. And I do feel like this could be part of that Eight of Swords. You're moving from just thinking about it and dreaming about it and daydreaming and saying, oh, that's nice. That would be nice. But that's just a wishful thought. You're moving from that point of reference of your vision into actually doing. The Magician is doing energy, is taking what you have, which may not be much, right? The Four of Pentacles did come out, but it's the mindset has shifted here. People are talking about how you're just going for the gold. There's something that you're convinced that you want to experience, and it has everything to do with taking something that you've wished or visualized and actually doing something. There's concrete steps that you're doing to bring that thing into existence for yourself. You're in the energy of the Magician, making things happen. People are talking about how you are making things happen, Pisces. Yeah. People are talking about how you are making magic in some type of way. And I don't mean that to be like woo woo, but I mean like you are taking what it is that you desire in your mind and you're working that thing out. Yeah. For some of you, this could be like writing down your goals for 2025, and you have started implementing those goals. It doesn't mean that, okay, just because you wrote them down, now all of a sudden you see them. No, but if you said you want to go ahead and go back to school and get your degree, you have taken a couple of classes already, right? So there's some movement towards what it is that you have declared you want to see in your life. People are talking about it, that you're not just talking, Pisces, like they actually see you doing. You're making magic. You're making this come true for yourself. And guess what we have again? Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. And I do feel like there's the recognition, like, you don't need a lot. There's something about you, Pisces, being able to see. The other thing about this Magician too, the Magician, it's magical to me because the Magician is really an energy that understands it's not what you've been given, right? It's not necessarily that you have a lot of money or and that you're privileged, but it's understanding that you hold the power within to manifest whatever it is that you can visualize for yourself. And you don't need a lot. The Magician says that you can take a couple of coins, a couple of pennies, right? And because you have a firm belief in yourself, you can turn a couple of pennies into thousands. It's about taking what you have and putting it to work, making it work for you, and creating what you need it to be. The Four of Pentacles says that you don't even have a lot to work with, but it's because you understand it's not necessarily what you have that makes it, but it's what you believe. There's something about also being connected with your higher power too, and having that support to be able to manifest. Okay. There's something about faith coming through here. I do feel like there's been like a major change, like even over the last year or so, people are talking about there's something about you, Pisces, that has changed. They might not be able to put their finger on it, but there's definitely something about you that's different. It could be that you no longer put your trust in people or things, that you're more connected with yourself and your higher power to make things happen. Okay. But this Four of Pentacles is talking about that. And you being willing to take a risk on yourself, people are talking about this. You doing the work, you getting out there, right? And just doing it. So this card, the risk card in this oracle deck, is all about you being able to bet on yourself. People are seeing this in action and they're talking about it, and they're, possibly even inspired by you. That's the energy I'm getting. This is all good energy, Pisces. I feel like people have nothing but good things to say. They're excited. They're cheering you on, trying to understand, like, what just happened. Something changed with Pisces. What just happened? But there's something about how you have changed how you're looking at things. Yeah. Something has changed about how you're looking at things. And I almost feel it could be around you understanding that this is your one lifetime that you are given. There will be no other lifetime like this one. So that what you have to do, you better do it. You better do it. Time waits for no one, right? And so if there's something that you need to do, you better do it. I did a encouragement of the day this morning, and that was the first thing that came to mind, how time is just passing by. You blink your eye, we in the next year. We just started 2025 and we're already halfway through. And so it's like there's the recognition, I feel like, for many of you, that time is not forever. So if there's something that you want to do, something that you want to experience, something that you want to make happen, you have to bet on yourself. We're not waiting on nobody. And I feel like people are talking about you stepping into that very tenacious energy, that very resilient energy. Does it mean like the road has been smooth and everything just fell in your lap and was good? No, but you have not stopped yet, right? You haven't stopped. You haven't lost the faith. And then lastly, we have Leah coming through. And with Leah, this energy is a encouragement for you to stand your ground. People have noticed and are talking about how, and I don't know if you've ever been, but this could be for a few of you. It may not. You may have been someone who has been easy to, or there's something happening right now that places you in a position, again, of having firm, strong standards and boundaries. Because the stand your ground is all about being assertive, like not being afraid to speak up and, express yourself, to ask or demand, require what it is that you want, and not allow yourself to just dwindle away in need, not to suffer in silence. There's something about using your power, standing in your power, standing in your truth, even if it's not palatable for others, right? There's something about that for some of you that people are talking about. And I feel like this has to do with you possibly at one point in time being someone that was kind of afraid to hurt people or afraid to really ask for what you needed, but there's something about that no longer being the case. I feel this presence rising up, and I know other people feel it too. Pisces, they're talking about it. That change that has made, that's ever growing stronger and stronger. It's almost like your presence becoming firmer or bigger in somehow, Pisces. And so Leah comes because people are talking about you're being more bold and you're being more honest and truthful with yourself, especially when it comes to things that don't align with you, you being more clear on what that is for you and being willing to stand on business when it comes to that. There's something about people talking about that. And you know what, Pisces, they may not like it, but that's okay. They'll live. Okay. They'll live. And so that's what people are talking about you. They're talking about how you are claiming your space, and standing, for what it is that you require and what you believe. Just standing up for yourself. And so for some of you, this is a huge moment. It's a huge moment for you to really make a statement, and not just for the fact of making a statement, but for you to really step out and stand in your truth, stand in your power. I feel like that's the majority of this message that's coming across, that people are talking about these changes that you're making, how you are experiencing life, ups and downs, how you're taking it, with power, and how you are just being really resilient. I mean, there's people, I feel like with this kind of energy, people are inspired by you right now, Pisces. And so it's all good. It's all good talk that they're talking. Okay. Even for those that may not necessarily agree, it's like, well, that's what Pisces said. So that's what goes. That's what I'm seeing for you, Pisces. So keep it up. I like this energy. Matter of fact, I love this energy. Yes. And fully in agreement with it. Okay. Because I'm like, everybody else stands in their power. Why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't I? Right? And so keep standing in your power. Okay. Like I said, you got one life to live, and it's not waiting. Time is ticking. And so whatever it is you need to do, Pisces, you better do it quickly. Okay. That's for you. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you feel inclined, if you feel pulled, if you are resonating. Let me hear from you. Okay. Speak up. And if you have yet, please consider subscribing to the channel. Let me know how it's resonating. And it's always a pleasure to read for you, Pisces. Until next time, okay? Bye. Hi, Aries. Hi, welcome to Blood Moon Oracle today. You are last but not least. You're last but not least, Aries. And I hope I'm not freezing today, but I want to take a look and see, what are people saying about you right now? What are people hearing about you, Aries, right now? So we're going to take a look. I have all kinds of decks out here to find the energies that show what's being heard. Like, what are people hearing about you? We're going to start off with my vice versa tarot and see. Like, share, comment, Blood Moon Oracle here. It is a pleasure to have you here today, Aries. I am excited to read for you, as always. Okay, so let's take a look here. So the cards that came out for you to start is the Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Wands. Okay, Aries, coming out in your own energy, all beautiful and bright, shining. All attractive. And then the Knight of Wands, like that you're doing big things. People are hearing that you are in your lucky era. If things could go right, it's going right for Aries right now. And you're doing it with poise, with grace, with, this beauty, this splendor. You're doing it with class, with the Queen of Wands. I feel like people may even be threatened to be jealous a little bit. They might be a little jelly, Aries. Okay, so I don't know what's going to come out in your cards, but let's just be ready for whatever comes out, because things look so good for you with the Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Wands, and then the Knight of Wands. It's like opportunities up the yin yang being open for you. And on top of that, you being in your era of success and victory and just having all of these energies that are at your disposal. Like if there is anything that could go right, it will with the Wheel of Fortune. Your pleas have been heard and they are being manifested, right? If at one point you prayed for some things, right now you're in the era where you're seeing those things come to pass beautifully. And people are seeing that. They're hearing that you are doing amazing, right? And so let's see. That's the energy that we're starting out with. I like it, Aries. Yes, I do. The Lady of Lightning. And again, we're just talking about energy, okay? And so there's something very surprising. Like people are surprised to see you doing so well. They're talking about how you have had like a shocking transformation or a shocking change. Like there's some total paradigm shift that they're talking about for you. So whatever is happening for you, Aries, people didn't actually anticipate that it would be this good. And they're in shock. They're in shock, right? And so the Lady of Lightning brings in a level of just like, really? Are you kidding me? Like, is that you? I didn't even know that was you. Okay, well, how you been? Last time I saw you, you was, in need of $10. I'm just playing. But, it's that kind of energy. And now they're like, what? Okay. Well, let me make sure I get your number because I definitely want to keep in contact with you. And so people are talking about this massive surprise from the last time they saw you and they're hearing about it. So them running into you was like, it was more than what they had heard, more than they expected to see, right? They expected to see the position you were in the last time they saw you, maybe plus 10. But when they actually run into you, it's like it was actually plus 100, right? Let's multiply that by 10, right? And so people are in awe. They're in shock, and when they talk about you, people can't hardly believe that this is, oh, you mean so-and-so from down the way? No, not so-and-so. Are we talking about the same person? Yes, we're talking about the same person. So people are in awe about how good you're doing. Yeah. Queen of Discs. People are talking about how well you have managed to actually maintain what it is that you have. And I do feel this very beautiful familial energy coming out for whoever you are. There's something about this beautiful family structure that you've created or that you've been able to maintain or that has bloomed, right? And this is all about people talking about you being able to nurture that and maintain that and regulate that and balance that. This is all energy coming from you, Aries, what you've done. And this could be, I do feel like it's nurturing energy. So it does feel feminine, but it doesn't mean that it has to be a woman. It could definitely still be a man. There's something about you being able to be responsible and maintain what you've been given, the responsibilities. Yeah. Now, keeping in mind too, the Queen of Discs is also talking about the Queen of Pentacles. And so this could be you having to level up, financially too. The Empress. Okay. Okay. And so lots of beautiful energy coming out here for you, Aries. People are talking about you being in this very beautiful position. Now, when we talk about the Empress, we are talking about fertility. It's that Queen of Pentacles energy again. We're talking about fertility. We're talking about familial energy. Just being, it's beautiful. It is matriarch energy because we're talking about being able to expand and grow this energy that we call the family. There's something beautiful here. And so you could be someone who is like your family is growing by leaps and bounds, and it's just turning and it's blooming into this beautiful energy that people are talking about. And so, however that is coming forth, I feel like people are talking about, um, your ability to really experience. They're talking about your experience as it pertains to family. And this may be a level up time for you where you're experiencing a lot of beautiful moments within your family. I just see it as something really beautiful. And you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing a family tree expanding. That's what I'm seeing. A family tree is expanding. So people are talking about um, this beautiful experience, and it feels really beautiful. There's nothing more beautiful than the Empress. Everything that she touches, it grows and it blooms and it turns into something very beautiful and profitable. It's almost like just planting seeds everywhere and being in this energy of being very um, having a lot of pull. I feel like people are not only talking about you, but they may be coming to you for advice. They see you doing such a great job in the area. People may be even, coming to you for advice on how can I get like you? How can I do this? How can I maintain what I have so that I can experience that too, right? There's this energy of just having this very beautiful glow around you right now. People are talking about you being in possibly what could be the most beautiful moments of life that can be experienced. I love it for you, Aries. Yes, and your mushroom is the shiitake. And the shiitake mushroom is all about the energy of nourishment. It's all about nourishment. Okay. And guess what? It's a three. The three is the Empress as well. And so there's something that is being created. And I don't even feel like you're done. Like they're talking about all of this beauty that is happening for you and that is being multiplied for you, Aries. And it almost feels like this is just the beginning. Like they haven't seen anything yet. I'm so happy for you, Aries. I'm surrounded with lots of Aries. And so and Aries are generally beautiful people in my experience. All the Aries people that I know have very nurturing, very caring spirits and energies. I connect with Aries. And so I'm so happy for you. The energy that I'm feeling is like an overwhelm of love. Have you ever been just so happy that you cry? That's like the energy that I'm feeling. It's an overwhelming sense of happiness. And so I am so happy. And the most beautiful part about that is people are talking about this beautiful moment that you're in right now as you're experiencing some of the most beautiful moments of your life. But this is just the beginning. That's the crazy part about it. It's just the beginning because we got the Empress. The Empress is the energy of creation. And so there's something greater that's being created. Like I was saying, people, I don't know if they try to keep up with you, but every time they hear your name, it just gets better, right? There's something else good that's happened since the last time they heard, right? It's almost like that kind of energy. But the shiitake mushroom is all about nourish. And I do feel like that partly is because of the energy of being able to maintain and to nurture what it is that you have. Um, you being this energy of the Empress or even the Queen of Pentacles, this matriarchal energy, I feel like that makes all the difference because and I have no doubt about it, you know what it is that you have. You know how um, fortunate you are. You know how fortunate you are. And most likely you don't take it for granted, and I have no doubt that this is the result of a lot of sowing during hard times and a lot of learning with the opposites energies, right? And so you don't just wake up like this. You don't just step into this kind of energy. This is something that you have absolutely nurtured and cultivated for yourself. People are talking about that. Yeah. And so I do feel like people are talking about your ability um, to offer something of substance. And I am feeling like an energy of tenacity, not giving up easily, um, and sticking, trusting, believing. People are talking about this energy that feels like faith, right? If I can use that, there has been something that has kept you believing and holding on, even in times where you thought that you wasn't going to make it. But there's something that has been like an anchor for you that's coming up here too, that I feel like I should mention for this reading. Again, like I said, you didn't just wake up like this. This is as a result of you doing the work, Aries. Okay. And so people are talking about possibly even talking about where you were in the past, where you started, and where you are now. I hear people talking about um, in disbelief in many aspects of what it is that you're experiencing right now. People are in disbelief that they were talking about the same person. Yes, we're talking about the same person. Quit asking me that. How many, such and suches do you know? It is the same person. Like you have people's jaws on the floor, right? And so I just get that energy, but it's awesome. It's awesome to have that type of reaction. And so, upon hearing this, there's going to be a lot of people coming towards you, wanting to get to know you, wanting to ask for advice and questions, because they're going to want to know, how did you go from A to B? Right. And I think it's important to share those things because many times we are allowed to have these experiences to be helpful to each other. And there's something about those experiences when things weren't as good as they may feel right now that is going to be inspiring, and that's going to assist someone else to understand, yeah, today is not a good day, but there's always tomorrow. Don't give up. There's something inspiring about having someone that's been, in some very tough places, that made it through, that made it to a place where they can say, I'm glad I didn't give up. And so there's something very inspiring that you're offering here with the Ace of Cups. People are talking about this new love. This could be new opportunities to experience life, that's offering all these new perspectives, these new experiences that give joy and fulfillment for you. This could even be, opportunities for you. It doesn't always mean that you've met the love of your life. For some of you, I believe you have. But others of you, this is you meeting yourself as the love of your life and exploring and experiencing life in a whole new way. You didn't even realize it could be this good. This is the overflow, right? This cup has an overflow of water with a dove on the top. You are in your overflow. People are talking about that. It's all good energy too. And it's all good talk. I feel like people are happy for you. They're happy that you made it over, Aries. Yes. See, it just gets better and better. And then we have the sun. The sun is the most happiest card in the deck. This is you enjoying life, enjoying the fruits of your labor, enjoying family. Some of you have, several different generations that you are enjoying now, and you're able to see that, you know, And so this is a multi-level of enjoyment that you're experiencing, that people are witnessing, that people are talking about. You just living the greatest days of your life right now. And the sun is beautiful to me. Not only is it the happiest card in the deck, but it also is something that's not fleeting quickly. The sun talks about a sustaining level of happiness. This is long term happiness, right? This is not the illusion of it or something that's just here today and gone tomorrow. No, this is something that's solid. It's solid. And it's something that has been cultivated. And so people are talking about it. They're talking about how you are interacting and enjoying with every good thing that you have available to you in life. And I feel like it's, you know, it could be like vacations, but it's more than that. It's the fellowship of family and being able to witness different generations. It's actually being able to look back at your childhood too and actually experience some very beautiful energies that you experienced as a child. Those may be things that are coming up again. You may be reliving those through other generations that you are experiencing too. But there's just so many different levels of enjoyment that the sun brings in. It's not really being worried about anything. It's being assured that whatever happens, it's going to be okay. And we're going to make the most of it. And we have each other. And this is beautiful, right? People are seeing you living your life like it's golden, Aries. I love it for you. And then we have the strength, right? And I do feel like people are talking about some of the struggles that you've had. The strength brings out that energy. So people are talking about some of the struggles that you've had. For some of you, you may be having, and for some reason, this is not everybody. Everybody's going to be different. For the majority, this is what I'm hearing. So I'm taking the most influential energy that's coming out. For someone, people are talking about some struggles, possibly either that you have had specifically or that you are having, because the strength is talking about the energy of having to hold on, having to fight for what you believe, having to, experience sometimes things over and over and over until you get it, till you get that lesson. Sometimes we don't get it the second time. Sometimes we don't get it the third time. Sometimes we don't get it the fourth time. But however many times we need to go through that lesson until we get it, right? That's how many times we go through it. Somebody's talking about possibly some hard lessons that you've had. Yep, they're bringing up the past. But in light of where you are right now, there was something very triumphant about those lessons because obviously they were purposeful. And obviously you were able to use those lessons as building blocks because it's not that way anymore for whoever's bringing this up. And I don't really think that they're being malicious about it. I think they are just doing like a comparison. I remember when, which is okay. It's okay to remember, but that's not me no more. That's not Aries anymore. And so, but someone is remembering what has brought you to this point. And in spite of the hard difficulties of those lessons, you pushed past it and you made it to your promise. And so that's okay. You're a lesson for others. And for those that's able to learn from other people's experience, it's invaluable. The experience that you have is invaluable. There will be those that won't be able to learn from your experience. They'll need to get out and sometimes go through it themselves and have those same experiences. But for those who are, it's like gold. Okay. No price can be put on it. We have perspective. Yeah, there's something that has changed about you, how you see things. Someone is talking about how you've changed. There may even be things in this moment right now that you're changing about how you see things, how you relate to things. For some of you, there's some things that you've been waiting for to change, and someone's talking about possibly some things that you're waiting for to come through for you or to change some situation. Um, that may not necessarily change. You may end up seeing that situation differently. But yet and still, that places you in a privileged position because you're able to sit there and make that change, right? And so there's something interesting about people hearing your ability to be patient, your ability to be compassionate, and to sit while things change or while people change or while you change, right? Sometimes we're in a situation and it's not even meant for that situation to change. Sometimes a situation is meant to change us. And so they're talking about your wisdom. I feel like they're talking about your wisdom that you have exercised in life in general. And that may, in fact, be a situation that you're dealing with right now. And you don't necessarily feel like you need to rush in and try to change things. No, but there's a bit of wisdom in sitting and watching and looking at it from a different perspective or trying to see, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You may be asking, what am I learning in this? So there's some wisdom that people are talking about that you have, Aries, and how you deal with situations. You don't just rush in without getting, the necessary clarity around it. Like you have this level of patience around situations that you're faced with. And you don't just rush in for an immediate solution. Yeah. I love this for you, Aries. And then you get Artemis, which is this warrior spirit. Artemis is a brave, she's like a princess warrior, or someone who is very confident um, in setting out on their own path or finding their path, right? Someone who is very much connected with nature, wilderness as well. They're comfortable with it. Um, but this brings up the energy of bravery when it comes to things that align or things that you're being called to experience spiritually. And even in situations, I feel like people are talking about how you are the type of person, or you've demonstrated in some type of way this bravery, this courage. I almost feel like there's a level of courage that you have, Aries, that isn't afraid to challenge the unknown or the less traveled paths. I'll say that. There's something very fiery, right? You are a fire sign. There's something that draws you to things that are less experienced. I feel like this just points to this level of courage. People are talking about you in the sense that you're not just everyday people. Like there's something really different that stands out about you. And being that it almost feels like a warrior spirit. I almost feel like people talk about you being willing to do what others are afraid to do. When it comes to protection, you're probably the person that will try to protect those that stand unprotected, even though it may place you in danger. You would stand up and say something when others won't. There's something very brave. People are talking about you just being this very warrior-like spirit. And so, or you may be willing to go places or do things that others may, be intimidated to do. And so people are talking about you being of a different, just of a different nature, right? There's something very um, beautiful, kind, nurturing, yet Aries is not scared. So don't get it twisted, right? And I feel like that speaks to you being able to place people where they need to be when that happens, if it comes to that situation, right? And so people are talking about you just really being willing to fight when necessary, being willing to fight when necessary. Aries is not scared, so don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted because you feel this very nurturing, beautiful, loving, accepting spirit. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. But this is so beautiful. I love this for you, Aries. I love this. And also, I just heard some of this is in the spirit. Like, you may not be someone who is very confrontational, like in reality, but like you are someone who will fight in the spirit. Like, you're not afraid to pull out your spiritual weapons. That's for somebody. And they know that, right? And so people will warn other people not to mess with you because you will, in fact, go there. That's what I'm hearing. So, Aries, I am so happy for you. Like I said, I don't know any other sign that's more worthy of this kind of joy, and so enjoy it. I think people are enjoying it for you. And there's a little bit of, I feel like, the energy of living vicariously through you. People are talking about it and it's giving them joy and inspiration and even hope, and so I think there's something very beautiful about your life right now, Aries. And so know that people see you and, they're cheering you on, they're celebrating you and celebrating with you. Okay. All right. That is for you, Aries. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm so happy for you. Keep living your best life. Okay. We didn't come all this way not to live our best lives. So keep living it. Okay. All right. And I almost want to say I love you, Aries. And thank you for sharing this beautiful, abundant, very nurturing, beautiful energy with us today. It leaves me just feeling like really lifted in my spirit. And so thank you. I almost feel like I've been kissed by Aries. Thank you, Aries. And so until next time, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe if you have not. Make sure you hit the bell so you'll be notified in case we go live in the future. And we'll see you next time, my darlings. Bye.